welcome back to my channel. I am very excited for today's video because I feel like we've established on my channel that I don't always make the best decisions. In fact, when I was a little bit younger, little college stuff, I had a shirt that said pretty good at making bad decisions. Yep, that's like just kind of my life motto at this point, isn't it? And while I would like to say that I don't regret a lot because, you know, your regrets get you to where you are in life. You learn things from your mistakes, all that stuff. When it comes to makeup purchasing regrets, like sometimes it's just actual regret, you know? So today we're gonna reflect on whether or not I have a lot of regret or if things were worth the purchase during my Sephora purchasings. During the Sephora sales last year, we're going to be reflecting on both the spring as well as the holiday Sephora savings events last year. I also did the same thing for 5 years ago, the 2019. We reflected 5 years back. So I will leave that video linked down below. I've also done in the past 2017 and 2018. We'll leave it linked. We will leave it linked in the description box. You will also find all of the information pertaining to the upcoming Sephora VIB sale. I personally am a Sephora VIB girly. I get excited about the event every single year. I think because I mostly purchase during those events and then I really try to not buy from Sephora throughout the rest of the year. But if you are not a Sephora girly, if you do not like the sale, I totally get it and I wish I could be like you. I wish I could save money and not buy, but there is something that like, it's like the devil on your shoulder, but it's actually Sephora on your shoulder, just being like, you need to buy all the things in the store. That's how I feel. So if you're interested in seeing all the products that I purchased last year and my thoughts a year later, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project painting content, palette themed content, or just chit chatting about makeup, bad choices, never really good decisions, stay tuned. I hope you'll consider subscribing. Whenever I try to add a little bit of something funny in, I like lose track of where I'm going. I hope you'll consider subscribing and let's get into the video. All right, all of the information about the upcoming Sephora VIB sale will be linked in my description box down below. I personally love the Sephora VIB sale. I like to purchase from Sephora, but I really reserve my Sephora purchasing for the most part during the Sephora savings event. Like the bulk of my ordering typically happens during this time. And other than that, I really do purchase more from Ulta. But there is something about the Sephora sale that feels a little nostalgic and I just always get so excited for it. If you're not a Sephora sale girly, that is a-okay in my books. And honestly, I wish I could be like you and save money. But alas, I can't. Buying makeup feeds my soul. It's a me problem. But let's kick it off with the Sephora spring sale last year. The first thing that I purchased during the Sephora spring sale was the Tower 28 Juice Balm. And then I did pick up just one, Tower 28. What was this called? The Juice Balm, the tinted lip balm. And I picked up the shade Squeeze. Speaking about orange shades, I picked up the shade Squeeze, which is this really beautiful watermelon sort of shade, and I ended up decluttering this. I am so sad about this. Tower 28 is a brand that I love, but I feel like there's like a mixture of products that I either like really love or just kind of feel like they're fine. I don't feel like there's anything that stands out as a terrible product except for their lip softy. Like that is absolute garbage in my opinion. But anyway, the Juice Balm was one of those like lip crayons, and the problem I had with this product is I purchased the like bright orange shade, which I thought was beautiful, but it was one of those products that you just couldn't like trust. You really just couldn't trust it. Like it wasn't moving the right way. There was something a little off about it, and what was off about it is that it might get outside my lip lines and make me look crazy. It's like that boy that tells you like you're the crazy one, but they're gaslighting you and it's actually them. That's how I feel a little bit about the Tower 28 Juice Balm. But I would still take the Juice Balm over a man any day. The Juice Balm is better than men. Okay. Men, I'm sorry. Okay. So that decluttered, we're saying regret. Even though like it's not a bad product. And honestly, I'd be curious how I would feel about this product if I had purchased a different shade. I also feel like I'm just not a crayon girly. Like I just prefer a lip gloss, honestly. And if I am going with a lipstick. I just prefer standard bullet, and that's just something I should have known. Maybe I just shouldn't have purchased it. Then we have the Lawless Lavender palette. Okay, the only palette, like this is a huge win for me as well. I only purchased one palette during the VIB sale. I did get the Lawless, the lavender one eyeshadow palette. Oh, for some reason I was thinking this was lip gloss. This was absolute garbage, and I love Lawless, you guys. Lawless is one of my favorite brands. This palette, I do not understand how this made it to the shelf, because the quality just was not good. I don't know if like there was a bad batch and I just happened to get the bad palette, but this was not good. The darkest shade in that palette was pure chalk dust blended away into nothing. I also was not a big fan of the Lawless, the large eyeshadow palette, but I thought the quality was pretty good in the other two, like previous smaller ones. I guess I didn't try the smallest, the one. Anyway, this wasn't good. This was not good. So that is also regret. Not doing well. Then I have the Lawless Forget the Filler. I believe I got Lavender Sorbet. I did pick up one of the shades from the lavender collection. I did not go with the brighter lavender, like brighter purple, just because I feel like in theory I really liked that, but in practice, like I just would not have reached for that shade, which I love Lawless Forget the Filler, and I believe I have finished off this shade. I really enjoyed that shade. It's a really beautiful kind of cool toned pink purplish sort of shade. We love Lawless Forget the Filler over on this channel. It's my favorite gloss of all time, so this one is getting a thumbs up. That was worth the purchase. Then I have the Danessa Myricks primer. I also grabbed the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum, which I also really enjoy. This is one of my favorite hydrating primers in my collection. I still own this. I'm still working my way through this, but I absolutely don't regret purchasing this. This kind of smells like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, and I just feel like it's this really beautiful kind of drink of water golden glow on my face. I'm a big fan of this one. Again, one of my favorite hydrating primers that I personally have tried, and I believe I would purchase this again once I finish it. And I don't say that a lot about hydrating primers, just because I definitely am looking for more gripping or smoothing primers, but this is one that I really just do enjoy the way that it feels on my skin. So I think this one was worth the purchase. Then I purchased the Danessa Myricks Cream Blush. And I did pick up one cream blush. I picked up the cream blush from Danessa Myricks. Again, kind of had my eye on this for a while. It's the Yummy Skin Flushed Blush. I was gonna get the hot pink shade. I think it was in the shade Prima Donna, but I switched it because I was getting the pink RMS Beauty Blush. I decided to go with something more orangey, and I did want a bright. I've been into like bright pops of color. And so I went with the shade Bellini. I don't want to do this because that feels mean. This is a good product. I just purchased a shade. It's a very pigmented cream blush, and I purchased, I think, the shade Bellini, which just ended up being way too bright on my cheeks. I just have other cream blushes that look a lot more flattering, so I did actually end up decluttering this blush, and I feel like I could have been a little bit more smart about the shade that I was selecting. I just really wanted the Danessa Myricks cream blush, and so I don't want to say like I don't feel like my head was in the right place when I purchased this. And I don't think I purchased this just to purchase it, because I remember like going in and swatching this shade as well as a couple others. And like I really did think through through which blush I wanted from this line. But I'm not going to say this was worth the purchase because I decluttered it, you know, a year later, and I didn't get a lot of use out of that one. I do think the formula is really nice, especially if you're someone who likes a more pigmented blush. And I will also say that I've been tempted by some of the other blush shades that Danessa Myricks has launched, so it wasn't worth the purchase because the shade didn't work out for me. But I still think it's a good formula. Then I purchased the RMS blush, the like glowy one. I also did pick up one of the RMS blushes, again, a glowier blush, but I have had this in and out of my Sephora cart and on my loves list since this released. So I've been thinking about this blush for quite some time. It is the RMS Beauty Blush in the shade French Rosé. And I will say I almost decluttered this, but I've actually kept it in my collection. I used it in a chopping block video, Get Ready With Me, and I actually liked the glow that this gave my cheeks. And I've actually been reaching for this blush quite a bit lately. So at first I did not think this was worth the purchase at all, but I've been using it a lot lately, and I actually think, especially because I like a glowier cheek, I do not like a matte face at all. Personally, I feel like this blush really was worth the purchase for me. And if you're someone who likes a glowier blush, I do think this blush formula is really popular amongst people who like a glowier cheek. I know Kelly Gooch just reviewed this blush. I can't remember what shade she had, but it was this really beautiful kind of bronzer-esque sort of shade that I'm kind of interested in. So for me, this one was worth the purchase. Then I also purchased the Westman Atelier lit up stick or highlighting stick in the shade Parlo. And then the last product that I purchased, I'm also just so excited about. I was thinking about this morning. I was thinking about my order and I was like, I can't wait to use this product right here. And this is very expensive, but I literally don't regret it at all. It is from Westman Atelier, and it is the limited edition lit up highlighter stick in the shade Parla, which was the limited edition shade. Now, the Westman Atelier highlighting sticks are very expensive, and I already was familiar with the formula, so I kind of knew that going in. And I really just loved the shade Parla because it looked like this really beautiful, just like wet champagne shade. And while I don't reach for this highlighter that frequently, for me, I still think this was worth the purchase. I think the packaging is beautiful, and for those moments that I just want like a luxe cream moment on my cheeks, I will reach for this. I knew going into it, it was an expensive product, and I kind of wanted to purchase it for the luxury. I wanted this limited edition shade, so I am going to give this one a thumbs up. I think this was worth the purchase for me. Next up, I have the Cali Ray Sunproof Spray. I told you guys I wanted to get a setting mist, but I actually decided to go with the Cali Ray Sunproof Setting Spray. Okay, so I used this up. This was like bringing back a scent memory of Wet Dog. And I'm very familiar with the scent of Wet Dog. Growing up, we had 2 dogs every single spring break. My family and I would take a little road trip out to Jekyll Island, Georgia. Our dogs would run on the beach there, and I'm very familiar with the scent of Wet Dog. This setting spray smells like Wet Dog. Not a repurchase. I think if there was like a this, I would say that, because obviously I used it up. I don't feel like it made like the biggest difference in like my makeup lasting forever. And obviously I'm not purchasing it. Even like if it was the best setting spray that really did make my, like really locked my makeup in, I would go through the scent of the Wet Dog, because it wasn't like it lingered. But for me, just not worth it. I want to try the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush setting spray again. I've used that in the past, but it just brought back cherry vodka memories. And not really cherry vodka. I think it was strawberry, Smirnoff, and Diet Mountain Dew. Like, it was bringing back that scent memory. So I couldn't do that setting spray for that reason. We need to just get like a not unscented setting spray. Anyway, that I'm gonna say that was worth the purchase because I used it up. But like, I personally wouldn't purchase it again. And if you're sensitive to Wet Dog scent, I wouldn't recommend buying that. All right, then we have the Kosas bronzer. So I only ended up purchasing 1 bronzer. I did pick up the new Kosas bronzer. I can't lie, the like yellow, the neon yellow packaging kind of got me. This, why did I buy this? I bought it because of the neon yellow packaging, but I had owned the original Kosas bronzer and didn't like it. Girl, you don't have to buy yellow things just because they're yellow. Way too glowy. Smells like rancid Play-Doh. It doesn't even just smell like Play-Doh. It smells like sour Play-Doh. So find a different glowy bronzer. And I love Kosas, but they also are a brand that like, there's just a couple products that I'm like, what? All right, then we have the Sephora sampler set, which I'm hoping that I am including videos here because I don't remember what was in this sampler set, but feast your eyes on this. I'm just gonna do this one first because it's the biggest box in the box. This is the Sephora Favorites Deluxe Perfume Sampler Set. I told you guys I wanted to pick this up. This is one of the sampler sets where you get like the voucher for a full size of one of the fragrances included in here. And in here you are getting Flora Missing Person. Oh, you get Daisy Marc Jacobs. I love Daisy too. You're getting, ooh, Gucci Flora Clean Reserve in the scent Skin, which is the reason that I purchased this. I'm very excited about that. And then there's two other ones as well. You're also getting Versace Dylan Purple, Bonus Voluspa French Cade Lavender Candle, and what else am I missing? Nest New York Balinese Coconut. Okay, I'm super excited about this. And I haven't gone back to rewatch, so I literally have not a clue what was in the Sephora sampler set. So I'm gonna give this a worth the purchase regardless, because I honestly love the Sephora sampler sets. I think they're really fun, and we're just gonna go with we liked this. Then I have the Laura Mercier foundation, which I did only end up purchasing one foundation, and the foundation I landed on, you guys, I thought I was gonna purchase like at least 4 foundations during the sale. So me only purchasing one foundation is a huge win in my books. I decided to go with the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation, which this is another one. When I first started testing this, I wasn't a huge fan, but now it's one of my favorite foundations. Like, it just took a little bit of time. Maybe it took my skin aging a little bit for me to really appreciate it. It actually took me using a little bit less foundation. This is a very thin foundation, and I just feel like I don't like to build it a lot on my skin because I think it can look heavy then, but just a really beautiful thin layer provides a good amount of coverage and is so beautiful on the skin. So for me, this one is worth the purchase. I would repurchase this again, and in fact, I just included this in my top 3 favorite foundations, in my top 3 in every category. All right, then we had the Peter Thomas Roth primer. I did get a second primer, you guys. But I've been thinking about this one nonstop as well. It's the Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firm No Filter Primer. It says it instantly tightens, firms, and blurs, which was supposed to be like a tightening primer. This was so bad. This pilled so badly. I tried this every which way possible, pilling every time. And it was like one of those things that just like made me angry. There's certain like little things that just like absolutely make me see red. That primer was making me see red because of the pilling. So that was, then I had Kaja stacks. Oh, I think Kaja had sent over a bunch of the Kaja stacks to me, so I included them in that video. I love the Kaja stacks. Obviously I didn't buy these, they were sent to me, but I'm very grateful, and they were a product that I continue to recommend. And I had purchased Kaja stacks in the past that I also liked, so that Kaja stacks, if you purchase them, I personally think they're worth the purchase for me. There's certain Kaja stacks, if I lost, I would repurchase. That's my feelings on that. Then I have the Hourglass Sublime Flush Blush. Oh my gosh, even in person, I'm like, this is something I had wanted for so long back in the day, never purchased. And unfortunately, they didn't have a mini. They only have the full size. It's the Hourglass blush in the shade Sublime Flush. I love this blush. I think it's beautiful to even look at. I just love how this looks in the pan, but on the cheeks, it gives this really beautiful kind of pinky glow to the cheeks. I personally love the Hourglass blush. I love the Hourglass kind of color cosmetics. I just love the finish that they have on the skin. I think they are stunning. I'm someone who likes, again, not a matte face, so Hourglass, I feel like, gives this healthy glow sort of finish, and I'm a big fan, so I think this one was worth the purchase. And then I also had the Fresh Hydrating Lip Balm, and then sorry, I did get 2 other lip products, but one of them, it's the Fresh Sugar Lip Balm in the potted version. I got Watermelon because I thought this would be a great shade for the summer, which I believe was the Watermelon potted like fresh lip balm. I love the fresh potted lip balms. Personally, I like a lemon scent. I had gotten Watermelon because we were going into the summer, and I was like, oh, watermelon. But I like lemon better just because I like lemon things. I still think this was worth the purchase, and I highly recommend the Fresh potted lip balms, much more than their like chapstick bullet things these days. So that was everything that we purchased during the spring sale. I'm not exactly sure. I feel like I've been keeping track up here. So look at the tallies up here. But moving on to the holiday sale, and some of these I'm like, I feel like for holiday sale or like around holiday sale time. But we have the VIB. I'm not like, okay, I have this list, and I feel like some of it also might be products that I didn't haul at this. I took the list of products that I have. I didn't rewatch my Sephora Spring Savings Sometime video, I'm sorry, and I will like insert clips from that. I should have just gone back and watched that. If there's random products that I'm talking about, it could be that I hauled them like around that time, but not during the sale. But anyway, I have the VIB dry oil with bruising hair care, and I've been really into VIB hair care products lately. So I picked up the VIB Ghost dry oil. It's supposed to smooth, soften, and frizz control. Which, is that the VIB hair oil or is that the VIB like spray? The VIB hair oil is my favorite hair oil of all time, but I also really like the VIB dry oil spray, if that's what it is, because it kind of helps with frizziness and it just smells really good. So I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. I also have the Tatcha Body Milk like lotion. This one, I'm gonna say I regret this purchase. I purchased this because I heard Lauren May Beauty talking about how this had like a spa-like scent, and while I do think it has kind of a spa-like scent off of like when you first put it on, it is not a scent that lingers for very long at all. And I feel like the lotion is a little bit, it's almost like milky. It's really, what I said, I suppose it does say body milk. It's just a really thin texture that I don't feel like offers a ton of hydration. And if you are not looking for that, maybe you would really like this product, but I feel like it was just kind of expensive for what it is. It's not something I personally would repurchase. So I'm not gonna do like a hard, but I will say that I do declutter this product because I feel like I could have spent my money on like a more hydrating body butter that would have worked better for my skin. Then I have the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 5 eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna first start with this because I actually picked this up before the sale because I literally could not wait. But I just wanted to give this one another shout out. It's the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 5. Definitely worth the purchase in my opinion. I absolutely love the Danessa Myricks Lightworks palette. I get excited for them every single year. So I am so happy to have Lightwork Volume 5. I thought that was such a beautiful palette. So many different textures and tones amongst the different finishes in that palette. I love that one, so that was worth the purchase. Then I have the Fenty Body Butter. Okay guys, we can first start with the one other product I went in the store to purchase. It is this one from Fenty Skin. It is the Butter Drop Shimmering Whipped Oil Body Cream in the scent, is it not on here? The cinnamon one. Oh my gosh. I think this was limited edition, but I think it's back or never went away. I don't know if you can get the full-size tub. I haven't done a lot of research, but I think it for sure is in the the giftable set with like 3 of them. This smells like Texas Roadhouse honey butter, and I was just so here for this product. My sister actually got me a second one of these over Christmas. I have finished off one. I haven't gotten through my second one because I've kind of been waiting for the holiday times again. It didn't feel like the perfect scent to be wearing during the spring summertime, just because it definitely almost has like a holiday baked goods kind of vibe to it. But I am so excited to bust that one out again. That one felt really nice and nourishing on the skin as well. I'm literally so excited to pull that back out, and if you can get it in a full size, I will be purchasing another one during this upcoming sale. All right, then I have the Boy Smells Woodphoria fragrance. I forgot that I ordered a full-size fragrance. Ooh, I literally forgot about, I'm so excited about this fragrance. Okay, where to begin? Should we start with the fragrances? I have 3. We can start with my full-size fragrance. This is a huge box. I'm literally so excited for this. This is Boy Smells Woodphoria. Okay, I was really excited about this one last year, but I was like, I don't know if this is a fragrance I personally would repurchase, but I have got that back out again and have been using it so freaking much lately, and I absolutely will repurchase when this is done. I love this. This smells like you were out on a hike on like a fresh fall morning. There's leaves all, like it has a very woody, earthy scent to it, but that is just my vibe, and I love this. It ranks up there with my Replica by the Fireside. I absolutely love this one. It was definitely worth it. Then I have both the Kayali Tobacco and Oud, as well as the Kayali Cafe and Oud, and then I did pick up 2 of the Kayali Oud fragrances. I kind of wanted to get all 4, but I was like, girlfriend, get it together. I will say, I think these bottles are really beautiful. I remember being so excited about these. I was super, super into fragrance last year, even more than I am this year. And I was really excited about these. I almost bought all 4, and I just don't love the scent of either of these. I have found that I do not feel like the Kayali, I don't feel like their DNA is for me. I just feel like they're heavy. a little bit like, there's almost just too much of a floral no matter which scent route you go. I just haven't found my perfect Kaoli fragrance personally, and I was really disappointed in both of these because I love oud. Like, I love oud, and just even the tobacco one, like I actually liked the rose, or sorry, the cafe oud, I think more than the tobacco. I still have these. I'll eventually finish them up. And actually I did get compliments when I wore these to work, but for me, it just wasn't a favorite. Then I have the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, which I purchased. And I do think this one was worth a purchase. I actually recently purchased the Hot Cocoa one. I will say, I like the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm. I feel like it feels nourishing on the lips, but it is not my tippity top most favorite lip balm. I love the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve, as I've mentioned many a time on my channel. And I feel like I get the hype because there's like branding and aesthetic around the Summer Fridays. I feel like they have a good range of shades, but it's just not my tippity top favorite. I still think this was worth a purchase. Obviously, if they release a shade or a scent that I'm interested in, I will purchase. I just purchased the Hot Cocoa one, mostly for my daughter, but also for me. So worth the purchase, but just not my top favorite lip balm. Then I have the Givenchy Prism Libre powder, which this is where I'm like, I swear that I did not purchase this during the Sephora VIB sale. Like, I thought I purchased this earlier in the year. 100% worth the purchase for me. I do plan to pick it up again. I know that they have reformulated. I'm very concerned and worried that I'm not gonna like the reformulated version, because it seems like people overall, the overall consensus is that people do not love this one, but I'm excited to try it. I absolutely loved that powder. I felt like it was so blurring underneath the eyes. Definitely worth the purchase. Then I purchased the Lawless Easy Bake Pressed Powder, and this is a hard for me. Hard pan immediately. And I'm like, we're paying so much to get hard pan immediately. And I bought this because I thought it would be kind of similar to like an Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder. I feel like it was marketed more as like this like kind of glowy but not too glowy finishing powder. It just, no, it was heavy. It got hard pan right away, and I have since decluttered it. So that one is gone. Okay, I have Lawless Forget the Filler. Picked up another shade of one of my favorites. It's the Lawless Forget the Filler, and I got the shade Cherry Vanilla here, but I'm not sure what shade. Regardless, a Lawless Forget the Filler is always worth the purchase in my mind. Oh, it was the Cherry Vanilla that I purchased during the holiday sale. I have finished that. I have another one as well as a large, like, we love cherry. Forget the Filler. We love Forget the Filler in general. All right, then I have the Guerlain Healthy Glow Foundation. 100% worth the purchase. One of my top favorite foundations I have ever tried. It ranks up there with my Dior foundations. I think it is so beautiful on the skin. It does provide really good coverage. It does kind of like set down to like this like satin matte where it's not like totally matte, but it is like, it does offer this great coverage, but it lasts all day. It is, oh, it is such a good foundation. My absolute favorite, again, ranks up there with Dior for the purchase. Then I have the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. When I first saw the teaser photos for this palette, I was like, absolutely not, definitely not getting that, will not use, would be a waste of money. And then like 2 days later, I was like, but like I collect Natasha Denona midi palettes at this point in time. I do still need to get the bronze palette, and for me, I rarely if ever reach for this palette, but I knew that going in. I purchased this because I buy all of the Natasha Denona midis. I like to collect them at this point in time, so I'm going to say worth the purchase, but my least favorite color story of all the Natasha Denona palettes that's released, just for me personally. Then I have the Hourglass Snake palette. I had been hemming and hawing about this palette for so long, and did I need this? Probably not, but and this, I'm going to say, was not worth the purchase for me, but it's not like a hard, because I just should have bought a different face palette with shades that would suit me better. I have gone on to declutter this because it was just too deep for me. A lot of the shades just did not look flattering on my skin tone, but I've gone on to buy the Evil Eye palette this year, and I absolutely love that one. So the Snake palette was not worth the purchase for me. I should have been smarter. If I was going to buy one of these Hourglass palettes, I should have been smarter about buying something that would suit my skin tone better, but I purchased for the outer packaging rather than what was inside, so kind of wasted my money a bit on that. Then I have the Natasha Denona concealer. So I did get the Natasha Denona High Glam concealer, which This was not worth the purchase because I purchased the wrong shade. I purchased the lightest shade. I was not paying attention, but I really liked the coverage of this. So actually, very, very recently, I purchased the Natasha Denona concealer again, and I purchased the shade N1, which is not the lightest shade. I actually used this today for the first time, and I was just like, yes, like I really do like this concealer. It provides great coverage, but it's very thin underneath the eyes, even thinner than the Charlotte Tilbury like Magic Radiant concealer, which I love. So what I will say is this was not worth the purchase for me during that Sephora VIB sale because I should have been smart about getting the right shade. So I am gonna give this a thumbs down because like I wasted my money. Like I had to go and buy another one. But if you're wondering about the formula, I think this is absolutely beautiful for someone who likes something a little bit more full coverage underneath the eyes, but is still very thin in texture. I don't feel like my eyes look like heavy, cakey, or dry. So I really like the formula. Unfortunately, I just purchased the wrong shade during the sale. All right, then I have the Tower 28 concealer, which then I also got the Tower 28 serum concealer. Which I'm also like, I feel like I didn't buy that during the sale, but maybe it was during the sale. I love my Tower 28 concealer. It is a beautiful serum-like concealer, more light medium coverage. It's definitely not gonna be the most full coverage concealer. And it is very serum light, so it is very thin underneath the eyes. It offers like the slightest bit of a healthy glow, which I love. Might not be for everyone, but it is, if you don't set it, it's not gonna be the longest lasting concealer ever. However, I love this concealer. I think this was definitely worth the purchase. Okay, then I have the Give Beauty Contour Bronzer as well as the Give Cheek Glow. Next up, I wasn't thinking about this one really at all either, but the last few days I have been testing out this product from Give Beauty. This is the Check My Glow Highlight in Platinum Cowgirl. And you guys, speaking of highlighters that I've fallen in love with, I really enjoy this highlight. I love the Give Beauty packaging. I literally am obsessed with checkered everything. I go through like a pair of checkered bands like literally every 6 weeks, or not 6 weeks, that'd be a little ridiculous, every 6 months. And I have a black and white checkered blanket, which is like literally my favorite blanket. Like I'm obsessed with black and white checkered things. So anyway, I go over to the Give Beauty section and I go swap. Ooh, okay, I also love me a bandana, and this has like bandana print. Okay, that is so cute. How did I not notice that? I also love the inside of this box. Here I go on like a squirrel tangent. Has like red bandana. Like I'm gonna throw the box away, but like cute. Anyway, I go swatch. This is the second to lightest shade. This is the shade Toastin'. And I was like, okay, this is actually really quite beautiful. Like again, I'm like, I swear I didn't buy the Cheek Glow during the sale. Anyway, the bronzer and the Cheek Glow, I love both of these products. I've talked about these products a lot on my channel. I'm actually very impressed with the Give Beauty brand. I think both of the bronzer and highlight I recently talked about in my top 3 in every category. So both of these worth the purchase in my opinion. I like the Cheek Glow because it is more of a subtle glow, and it just, the way that it sits on the skin I think is really beautiful. And then I really love the bronzer out of the bronzer contour duo. I will say it is a little bit more pigmented. I personally have the shade Toastin'. Definitely is not going to match me when I'm fair, but I absolutely love that product. I reached for it so much this summer. I have a pan in mine and I've had it for, you know, I had a pan in it after owning it less than a year, which is saying something, I feel like. So both worth the purchase, as I said. Then I have the Rare Beauty Positive Light Highlighter in the shade Mesmerize. I had like taken this out of my shopping cart, and then I was reading through the comments of my Sephora VIB shop with me, and so many of you guys were like, get this product, get this product, get this product. Then my friend Emily commented and she was like, girl, people say that product is beautiful, but it's supposed to be like more blinding, and you don't love a blinding highlight. And I was like, you're so right, so I'm gonna leave it out of the cart. Well, then I was in Sephora shopping and I swatched this product. It is the Rare Beauty Positive Light Silky Touch Highlighter. And while it definitely can be blinding, I also feel like it's something that I will be able to sheer out, and it's one of those baked formulas that I feel like it's just gonna sit on the skin like it's actually skin rather than like powder on top. And this is just really the type of formula I am looking for with my ever-aging skin. This I love for those days that I do want something a little bit more flashy. You can definitely sheer this one out, but I do wear this typically for a more intense glow, but it is so smooth on the skin that it really just looks like you have this wet, gleaming skin. I think it is so, so gorgeous. I love that product, and I have not been the biggest fan of every Rare Beauty product, but this is one that I definitely do really enjoy, so I am going to say that this was worth the purchase. I purchased the Fenty Beauty Holiday Gloss Bomb in the shade Hologram. I got this one from Fenty Beauty. It is the Gloss Bomb Crystal. It is the like limited edition holiday gloss bomb, which was this really beautiful kind of white holographic sort of shade. I am going to say that this was worth the purchase. It is not my favorite Fenty Beauty shade of all time. It's kind of like a white gold sort of shade, but I love the Fenty Beauty gloss bombs. I loved the packaging of this. I'm still working my way through it. I'm sure I will eventually finish this one off. If this was a shade that I could still get now, I wouldn't purchase it again. It's just, again, not my favorite Fenty Beauty shade, but I still believe it was worth the purchase because I love the Fenty Beauty gloss bomb. So we're giving that a thumbs up. And then the final product that I have to talk about is the Patrick Ta Major Holiday Face Palette. Okay, let me walk you through my journey with this palette. So it launched, I was like, oh yeah, that's cute, don't need it, and then I kept seeing it, and last year was like the year of like true like the Barbie movie, I think, came out last year. The pink packaging was just like speaking to me, and then I was like, you know what, I kind of do want that, so I went to order it, sold out, and I was like, okay, it wasn't meant to be, we're good. I made the mistake of doing that thing where I went in store to Sephora during the Sephora sale, which is just always a mistake. Like, I feel like I will place my order online and then inevitably always end up in a Sephora, which the only time I ever end up in a Sephora, I feel like, is during the sale. Why do I do that? Because then I buy things that I like haven't even been thinking about. Like, at least when it's in my cart, I can like mentally walk through each item, kind of talk about the pros and cons. When I'm in store, I feel like I like walk through the doors of a Sephora and it's like my brain blacks out, and then I exit and I'm like, wait, what did I just buy? Like, I didn't even know what this product was, but then I needed it when I entered the store. So I was in store at Sephora, and then I walked by a display and there was one Patrick Ta Major Holiday Face Palette there. Like the giddiness I felt like I was finding treasure. Like, I feel like I was a makeup pirate who had just like struck a treasure chest, and I was like, oh, I thought it was like not meant to be when it wasn't online, but now it's in store, it's the last one, so like it actually was, it's the universe telling me it was meant to be, like I was supposed to have this. So I did buy it. I rarely reach for that. I reached for it quite a bit when I first got it. I don't know if I've reached for it at all this year. I will pull it out again soon to get some use out of it. There are some really beautiful lid topper shades in there. I do really like the like 4 lid topper shades. I think they're beautiful. I just don't reach for a lid topper that much, and I test and try new eyeshadow all the time. This is my fault, I understand. And then there's the really bright pink blush, cream and powder blushes. I will say I love the Patrick Ta blush formula. I think I just wasn't reaching for these bright pinks this year. I was definitely into more of like a peachy neutral sort of shade, or just like a straight nude cheek. So again, part of that's me, but I'm still very happy to have this palette in my collection. I'm not thinking about decluttering it. So I'm gonna say this one was worth the purchase. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk about my life with the Patrick Ta Major Holiday Palette. But after that, you guys, those are all the products that I picked up during the Sephora sales last year. Would love to know what products you picked up during last year's sale. Did you have a good sale last year? Did you buy things you regret? I would love to know. Other than that, thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel, as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.